In the coming two videos, we'll learn how to prepare a posterior bridge for the maxillary arch. Here you could see we have a prepared maxillary second molar and a maxillary first premolar, and we'll be designing the bridge between them. So in order to do proper occlusal orientation, we can't do it on this cast because it has a posterior prepared tooth, while on the other side it's not prepared. So in this case, we skip to the mandible, which has both posterior teeth unprepared. So we select the window for the mandible, select mandible here, and dentate. Go down to continue to alignment. This looks nice. Now, OK. These are the two arches with the occlusal plane. Before designing the bridge, I should clean up the data. So I select the mandible, go down cut, and encircle the areas I want to remove by pressing Shift on the keyboard and holding the left mouse button. Then lift your finger from the mouse and it will go. Continue that until you're satisfied with the results. Now do the same thing for the maxillary arch. I have to select maxilla, then cut, and remove the unnecessary data. Now all my work will be on the maxillary arch to do two crowns on the abutments and two pontics. First, from up here I go down to crown and bridge. Then I press at this icon, which is adding tooth. Here I select the appropriate tooth, which is the first premolar. I select the size and press OK. Here, as you can see, the cursor has turned into the tooth. I place it on top of the abutment and press Shift on the keyboard and left mouse button, and the tooth will appear in place. Of course, now it needs a little manipulation to be placed correctly. So from the teeth editing panel, I go to Manipulate Model, then I select the tooth, and now I could move the tooth in place. Now I can add another tooth by pressing on this icon and selecting the second maxillary premolar, and click OK. And select it and move it to the correct place. And keep adding the teeth until I finish the bridge. But there's another way. First, I have to remove the data of these two crowns from the Teeth Surface tab. The other way is to add all the teeth at the same time. First, we select the Add Tooth icon. Now, we select the first tooth, press Shift on the keyboard, and select the second tooth, the third tooth, and the fourth, and click OK. Here, we place this tooth in place and press Shift on the keyboard, then left-click with the mouse button, and all the teeth appear in place. This is an easy way in which I can move all the teeth and change their angulation altogether. Then I could go to each one and change its place and angulation later on. An important thing to note is the center of rotation of these widgets. If we click on this small arrow and move it, we're actually here moving the center of rotation, which is this blue sphere. Now, as we put the center of rotation near the first tooth, if we rotate the bridge, you notice that the upper 7 moves more than the other teeth. This is important in which we could change the angulation and direction of the teeth without changing the occlusal plane. I could return the center of rotation to its original place and change the orientation of the teeth. The most important thing when designing a bridge is to work first on the abutments, then the pontics. We go to the Tooth Surfaces tab and remove the visibility of all the surfaces. Then we return the visibility of the maxillary data. Now we'll start doing the finishing line and cupping for the premolar, then the finishing line and cupping to the molar. Of course, the pontics don't have any finishing line or cupping. First step in constructing the bridge, I have to select the crown that I'm going to work on, which is here the first premolar. Type of crown, select conventional crown, select the maxilla, maxilla again, and the antagonist is the mandible. Click Start. Plan New Restoration. The software made the tooth transparent, but it still is hard to see the finishing line, so from the Surface tab, I remove the visibility of the crown and start doing the finishing line. Click Next. Path of insertion. Next, identifying the interproximal area, press Shift on the keyboard and left mouse button and paint the contact area of the adjacent tooth. Next, this is the cupping for the crown. Click Next, and now the crown appears. Now I have to finalize the crown shape according to the prepared tooth. So I use the Add function. This area I remove from it by pressing Ctrl on the keyboard. Click Next. Now, to adapt the occlusal contact, notice these red areas means that these areas are heavy contact areas with the opposing tooth. If we return the visibility of the mandibular data, notice all these areas are excessive contact areas. So, by the Remove function, I press Ctrl on the keyboard and with the left mouse button, keep pressing on these areas until they go away. We may leave a little bit of contact, which will be refined after the crown is printed. Okay, next. Now the crown is finished. Even after the crown is finished, I could add, remove, or smoothen it according to what I see fit. I could add a little here to close the contact. In the Surface tab, we notice that the software has listed a new surface, which is the D maxillary first premolar. D here stands for designed. In the next lecture, we'll complete designing the bridge and finalize it and export it so it will be ready for printing.